Okay, this is Jonisdaman. Just making a quick response video to this guy 6 of 66. Yeah, so bear with me on the background noise. Let's just go into this. Yeah, in his video he tries to use the reason why he's hating so much. He tries to, cover that up with trying to use logic. So I'm just gonna break down the supposed logic in his arguments. See, what he does is he brings up a lot of the law in the Bible, and a lot of atheists do this. They bring up the law in Leviticus and say you're supposed to follow this to a T. This is the law, And I mean, even when you look at the nature of laws themselves, I mean, no law can really be followed to a T. Even the example I gave with the child crossing the street. What if there's lava on that side of the street and the other side of the street is safe? Then you would have to tell the kid to cross the street. So you can't. No law is really meant to be followed to a T, and the Bible understood this. That's why He gave us Jesus. Came to basically. Jesus came so we didn't have to follow the law. So saying that you're a Christian and you have to follow the law just shows just how ignorant atheists are when it comes to Christianity. Don't that's the baby. But yeah, it just shows how ignorant atheists are when it comes to Christianity. Um, be, you know, if someone was a Jew, they would have to follow the law. People who practice Judaism, they have to follow the Old Testament. We more like use the Old Testament as a guideline, and Jesus kind of helps us in the way we view the Old Testament. He basically says above all, because there was atheists who came up to Jesus like, "Oh, you guys, hey, you gotta follow all these laws. Which law is better than that law? Is this law better than that law? Why are these laws contradicting each other?" He's like, "Look, the greatest of all the laws is love, basically. So, if there's a law telling you supposedly to kill homosexuals, I didn't even, look at that, but if there's a law telling you to kill homosexuals and it's not really done in love, then why would you follow that when Jesus basically teaches us that the greatest law is love? So your whole point is moot there. And another thing he does is he makes this strange contradiction where he says I'm a heartless bastard first because he somehow thinks that I said all diseases because people didn't save it for marriage, and I said a lot of diseases are because people don't save it through marriage. A lot of diseases are sexually transmitted. This is a fact. I mean, I don't know where the argument is here, but he's saying that I'm a heartless bastard, and what about the people in South America who have diseases? Then, not too long after that, he turns around and says, the Bible's just made by a bunch of sand people. Sand people. And basically showing his racism. So I'm like, okay, so on one side you care about the brown people of South America, and then you show racism toward the brown people in Africa who made the Bible. The theory of Pangea was because South America fitted into Africa, and that's how people knew, like, oh wow, all the earth was one place. So to say that is kind of weird, and to be racist is even kind of weird because white people came from black people. So I mean, it's just the truth. What's the last thing he does? The last thing he says is you think that life is in the blood, and then contradicts himself. Well, you do need blood to stay alive. But there are blood substitutes, but you have to get blood in you to stay alive. I mean, those blood substitutes can keep you alive for a while, but you need blood to stay alive. And, so I'm not even going to go into the administration and all that, because that's in the law. You're supposed to use the law as guidelines. What's the last thing? The last thing is just 2 minutes of just spewing hate at me. And, I'm starting to find this funny, all the haters. He's just like, yo, you're stupid and all this other stuff, because they're so mad they don't even realize like why they're mad. Like, I haven't done anything personally to you, but you're so mad at me because basically something is on the inside of you, and it is pissed off. It's pissed off at God, and it's pissed off at God's people. So when it sees people like me, there's just a natural inkling to just get really mad, and even though you don't even really realize why you're getting mad, so it's just funny when I see people like that. Oh, that's basically all I gotta say. It wasn't really hard to refute your video. You didn't really come with a lot of arguments there. But I will say this: just looking at this guy, 6 of 66, and he acts like he didn't know what I was talking about when I said one world government. Yet he has the number of the one world government, 666. I don't know what the, but yeah. Basically, looking at this guy, you kind of realize like, he's got this hat on. I don't know, pretty overweight dude. I would say that if we both went to a club, I would get a lot more girls. Yeah, he's one of those atheists who was in high school, couldn't get a lot of girls. Most likely, I mean, just by looking at him, you could kind of tell someone's backstory, and probably had to resort to homosexuality. Um, when all he really wanted was to get girls, but he couldn't get girls, so had to resort to homosexuality. This is probably the same story as the amazing atheist too. A lot of atheists have this story. Then they get mad at God because, they think that God somehow made them a mistake by, because he made them so ugly or so fat or something. When all you really gotta do is you just gotta get money. I mean, you can get girls, just get money. Stop hating on other people. So, yeah, and he's got that little chain, so he wants to be black, he wants to be hip, he wants to be cool, but nah, not with that, not with the voice, and your appearance. It's not letting it happen there. So he hates. I mean, what do you have left? I mean, but you got to get out of the cycle of hate. You gotta, you gotta get money. You can get girls. You get stun in your own little way instead of just trying to hate on other people. It's all good, man. You're gonna do okay, but yeah. Peace.